I think the narrative that society has subscribed to is give, 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 right? And if you don't give, you're selfish. But how can you give from an empty cup? We need to support ourselves so we are able to give more. And that's life, period. I never feel selfish for setting boundaries or doing something that my energy is asking me to do in that moment. And that's the permission I want you to grant yourself. You are always attracting energy into your life. The question is, what can you be mindful about attracting? I'm Shannon Bills, mindset mentor, energy healer, and intuitive reader. And today, we're having mindfulness for breakfast. Oh man, I just literally rolled out of bed with the biggest message in my heart. I want to come to you in my true, honest feelings this morning. We have had a weekend, and it's interesting because it's a mix of fun, light, and heavy emotions. So nothing is really going on in my little personal bubble, in my family, me, my husband, my dog, like in our household. Everything is really great. But outside of that, it is heavy, it is messy, it is sad, it is sensitive. And so I wanted to make an episode on how to take care of yourself when you are wanting to take care of others. I think it's really important to talk about because I have found myself in situations where I have overextended and became exhausted or became sick or became resentful in how much time I give to supporting others. And I've seen that in other friends and how they are showing up for people that need them the most in their lives. And no one really teaches us how to balance that out. And do I think there's a absolute right way and formula to doing that? No. But there will be a correct way for you. And that takes a little bit of time to manage. And it also will look different on each person, on each time and season in your life. So I want to share with you some of the things that have been going on in my friends' lives. We have a close family member of ours who is going through a major job transition, taking a massive pay cut, having to be in an uncomfortable position and have to lay off some people on his team. And the stress is eating at him. We also have one of my best friends. Her mom is in poor health, and it's becoming really scary to the point where my friend is flying home and dealing with what that actually looks like and what is actually going on. And on top of that, she has to put her dog down this week. And so I'm holding space for her, trying to support her. We also have my husband's best friend's dad who passed away suddenly last weekend. We were at his funeral and celebration of life over the weekend, and it was heartbreaking and beautiful at the same time. I never really knew this man that closely. I've only met him once or twice, and he was full of joy, so lively, and hearing people talk about his memories and seeing videos of him being this larger than life entertainer was so beautiful. He passed away very suddenly, and the family was at a wedding, and he spent his last day on earth with his friends and loved ones and celebrating and partying and having fun and being with his kids and his grandchild. And he just passed away that night. His son, who's my husband's best friend, talked about that in his speech, being like, I can't picture my dad getting old, and now I don't have to. This was a best case scenario, especially for a man that really was the life of the party. Being at a funeral that was very unexpected, right? He was not sick. He was not old. It was just very sudden. It was really heartbreaking because I'm very susceptible to energy, and I could just feel the energy from his family being in like almost like distress and like a bad dream. And I just was sobbing the whole time. It really was just so heartbreaking. But again, equally at the same time, like so beautiful, because the family is just a wonderful family, and he had such a beautiful, fulfilling life. And I'll have to see if I can get my hands on the speech that my husband's best friend gave, because it really was just so beautiful in thinking about all the polarity that exists within one's life, all the ups and the downs and the celebrations and the grieving. I think he had said something like, they were at a family member's wedding. So like, here's someone celebrating new life while one is leaving a life, and how that polarity exists. It's a lot. And then at the same time, it was my sister-in-law's birthday, and we celebrated her birthday with family and friends. And there's just a lot going on, like good and sad and bad and hard, and me wanting to support these people that I love. It's a lot of feelings, and like, I don't even know how I feel today. Honestly, I'm like, what was my weekend like? Heavy and relaxing, because we also went to the beach yesterday with my sister-in-law and mother-in-law and father-in-law and brother-in-law and nephew. Gosh, I could have just said family. I wanted to talk to you today on how you can show up for your family and friends while also maintaining your energy and power. And I'll give you just small examples of that from this weekend. I checked in with my friend whose mom is not doing well, her dog is not doing well, and I'm on call. I'm ready to support her however she needs. If she's going to call me, if she needs me to do anything here in LA while she's at home taking care of family, I feel good with that, right? And this is kind of like my first point. I check in with myself saying, how much can I give to someone or something? And do I have space for that in my day? And if I don't, that is not selfish. That is protecting my peace and my energy while still sending somebody else love. But for that feels pretty good. I knew that this weekend, coming back from the funeral, which we did a lot of driving this weekend. We did about 6 hours of driving total, just going from place to place. I knew that after the funeral, I had the biggest headache, and my eyes were burning just from crying so much and just being in a very vulnerable setting. And my husband and I were driving home, and, we were aware that family was going to be at the house, and he's like, we need to take a nap. We need to just take a 15-20 minute nap. That way we can be good for this evening. And at first I felt guilty. I'm like, no, like we haven't seen your family. We need to like soak in every second. But my body was like, girl, you need to take a nap. And so when we got there, we took a 15-20 minute nap, and it did wonders for our body, for our energy. And we were able to have such a wonderful evening, not worrying about a headache or our eyes burning. We recovered. But that was something we did to check in with ourselves. And that was, I guess we can call that a boundary that we set. And we were able to give so much more by stepping back for just a few moments. So it's little things like that, and how you show up for your friends, for your family. Like I said, that can change day to day, minute to minute. If I had to think of little golden nuggets of information to give under this topic of how do we support others while supporting ourselves, or how do we support ourselves while we are supporting others, I think one of the first things I want to say is, don't take it personally. These people are very vulnerable and emotional, and how wonderful that we get to be there and support them however we can, but we don't know what state they're going to be in. I know one of my friends, her way of coping is she kind of shuts everyone out. And I used to take that personally. I used to go, why is she not talking to us? Why is she not using us? Why we want to be helping? That is her way of coping. And so we now know when we can step in and when we can't step in, and I don't take it personally. I know that somebody else in our close friends and family just wants to be in their mood, does not want my help, right? I think it's easy for people to throw me into the ring being like, she can help. This is what she does for a living. She releases stress from people's lives and she helps shift your mind. But when you are really going through it, you don't really want the help in that moment. And not for nothing, if you were a client of mine and you were coming to me and you were really in your feels, I want you to be. I want you to express it. I want you to tell me how you're feeling. I want you to just let it all out. By no means am I going to say, hey, let's actually just quiet that noise and let's just do a meditation, right? Especially in heavy things like going through a big job transition or grieving a loved one. There's a time and place for that. And so I don't take things personally when people are like, hey, sorry, do not want a meditation. I do not want to hear about reframing thoughts or how energy works. I want to be in my feels. And I respect that. I don't take it personally. So that's one of the first things I want to say. The next thing I want to say is make sure your feelings are heard. You, the helper. We know that our friends and family's feelings are being heard by us. We are showing up for them, but you are absorbing their energy. We are energy sponges. We are absorbing people's energy left and right. And I'll tell you, after this, I'm going to be doing a crazy energy healing meditation on myself because of all of the energy I absorbed this weekend. And it happens unintentionally. We have other people's energy inside of us, and they have our energy inside of them. And so we want to make sense of that. And one of the ways you can do that is by talking to someone else. And maybe this is a good reminder for you right now to start thinking about who that someone might be in your life. Maybe you have a parent that you can vent to, a sibling, a neighbor, a coworker, a best friend. And maybe you keep a list of 2-3 people that you just store in your mind from hard moments like this to lean on them for this support. Because the thing that I am telling all of these people who I am showing up for is you are not alone. You are not meant to do this alone. You are not meant to carry this weight and this heaviness all alone. But at the same time, I'm saying that to myself. Let's spread that energy so we're not carrying all that weight. Spread the weight around. So that is really important, knowing that you can just let this out to somebody. Maybe it's a therapist. Maybe it is a friend. Maybe it's your journal. Letting out all those feelings on paper, just some form of release so you are not carrying this, is going to be so beneficial to you. And the last thing that I want to teach you today, which I was planning to do an entire podcast episode on, but this feels like a perfect moment to just share the tool with you now. And this is another breakfast item of today. You have one, the thing I just mentioned, thinking of 2-3 people in your life that you can turn to, that you can feel supported by while you are supporting somebody else. That is such an important takeaway for so many situations that you will be in your life. I think the narrative that society has subscribed to is give, right? And if you don't give, you're selfish. But how can you give from an empty cup? Think of me and my husband saying, we need to take a 10-15 minute nap right now. We need to support ourselves so we are able to give more this evening. And that's life, period. I never feel selfish for setting boundaries or doing something that my energy is asking me to do in that moment. And that's the permission I want you to grant to yourself today. So that's tool and tip number 1. And tool and tip number 2, cord cutting. A lot of people in the spiritual community talk about cord cutting, and it is a massive tool that will become your best friend. Now, if you work with me in a group setting, one-on-one, in my courses, I go a little bit deeper than just cord cutting, because cord cutting cuts the cords from people's energy that you are feeling. Very beneficial. A massive tool that's going to benefit you. But I also do something in my programs called an energy retrieval. So not only are you cord cutting from that person, but you are getting their energy out of your body and you are retrieving your energy back. I know I have a meditation that does this on my site. I believe it's my energy restoration meditation. And all of my programs will have some form of an energy retrieval in them. And that is very beneficial for you because then you got your energy back. But I'm going to give you a very simple way to cord cut. And I'm going to give you a very simple intention declaration to speak out to help that energy retrieval process. So cord cutting sounds terrifying, and even the exercise I'm about to give you sounds like a scary image, but it's not. This is such a beautiful, peaceful moment for you to set this intention of, I am disconnecting from any energy that is not 100% my own. And gosh, if you did this every day, I actually have to do it because I had such vivid dreams last night that I'll do it in the morning, cord cutting from the dreams, because that's energy. I want that out of my body. I want a clear head. So I do it in the morning. I do it between each client, but I do the energy retrieval process as well because I want to make sure that client is getting 100% of my energy. But for you, maybe you just start with doing this as you're falling asleep. Setting this intention, you are disconnecting from everyone's energy that is not 100% your energy. So the visual sounds a little intense, but it's the best visual that I can give you for a short and sweet version of cord cutting. I want you to visualize a hula hoop, and within the hula hoop are these tiny little blades. They're not going to touch your body, but it's a hula hoop with tiny little blades. You're setting this intention. And I want you to visualize the hula hoop is starting at the bottom of your feet. And it's starting to cut all the cords under your feet. And now the hula hoop is moving up to your ankles and up through your legs, cutting all of those cords, disconnecting all of that energy from you and all of those people. And the hula hoop is circling and moving up through your body, up into your stomach, up into your chest, your arms, your hands, your neck, and all the way out through your head. And setting that intention that you are no longer corded into anyone else's energy except yours. And then the other little visual that I like to give is, okay, how do I explain this? I want you to visualize, if you were to watch a home video, a home video of you walking through a bunch of different doors, and you're walking forwards, right? So maybe you walk into door number 1, and then you're walking back into the hallway, and now you're going into door number 2, and then you're walking back into the hallway into door number 3. Like you're zigzagging through all these doors. I set the intention that these doors are people. And a way that I step out of these people's energies is I visualize that I press the rewind button. Because when you press the rewind button, you're kind of going fast and like you're going in reverse, right? Now you're stepping out of the doors. So I visualize me stepping out of all of these doors as if I was like watching a movie and rewinding it. I'm going out of these doors. And I set this intention that I am stepping out of everybody's energy that is not 100% mine. And that's another little intention that I like to give. And this is a way to maintain your energy, and your energy is what gets you to support yourself and what gets you to support others during hard times. So try this out. Let me know how it goes. I'm sending love to everybody who needs it today, especially the people that I am supporting in my life. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll talk to you soon.